The morning begins in the smallest corner of the world, where the air remains cool and the shadows have not yet retreated from the stones. Here, tucked against the familiar walls of the home, a tiny expanse of water holds the entire sky within its dark, glass-like surface. There is a profound sense of arrival in this stillness, a feeling that the day has paused before it has even truly begun. The light is thin and silvery, catching only the very edges of the surrounding greenery, turning the damp moss into a vibrant, glowing velvet. Every breath taken in this space feels heavy with the scent of wet earth and ancient stone. The world outside the garden gate does not exist here. There is only the boundary of the house and the quiet companionship of the water. To look into the pond is to see a mirror of the silence that settles over a home when the morning is young. There is no movement, no ripple to disturb the clarity of the reflection. It is a moment of absolute suspension, where the heavy weight of time seems to lift, leaving behind nothing but the pure, unadorned presence of the garden. The textures of the home-earth rough grain of the masonry and the soft yield of the soil create a sanctuary of tactile peace. In this enclosure, the light plays a slow game of discovery, gradually revealing the depth of the shadows and the gentle curves of the water's edge. Everything is held in a delicate balance, a domestic harmony that requires no words and no action. The silence is not an absence, but a full, resonant quality that fills the space between the leaves and the water. It is the quiet heartbeat of a house at rest, a place where the simple act of existing is enough. As the afternoon matures, the light shifts to a golden hue, stretching across the modest lawn to touch the edge of the water. The garden feels deeply lived in, a private world bounded by the gentle geometry of the home. The pond sits at the center of this domestic stage, a silent witness to the slow passage of hours. There is a rhythmic quality to the light as it interacts with the wooden textures of the nearby shed and the soft blades of grass. The enclosure of the backyard provides a sense of safety and seclusion, a space where the air seems to move more slowly than it does elsewhere. The shadows are long and soft, blurring the lines between the cultivated and the natural. In this light, the water takes on a deeper, more amber tone, absorbing the warmth of the sun and holding it within its depths. The stillness here is different from the morning. It is a contented, settled quiet, the kind that follows a day of gentle growth. One can feel the proximity of the home, the invisible threads of daily life that tie this outdoor room to the rooms inside. The space is intimate, scaled to the reach of a hand or the length of a stride. It is a place of small wonders, where the way a shadow falls across a stone becomes a significant event. There is no urgency here, only the steady, unfolding narrative of the afternoon. The garden is a vessel for this light, catching and holding it until the colors begin to fade into the softness of dusk. Every element, from the silvered wood to the dark water, contributes to a sense of total immersion in the present moment. From above, the pond appears as a dark eye looking up from the stone floor of the courtyard. The trellis overhead breaks the sunlight into 1,000 moving pieces, though the water beneath remains remarkably calm. This is a secret space, hidden away from the wind and the noise of the street, a pocket of air and water that belongs entirely to the architecture of the house. The stones lining the pond are dark with moisture, their surfaces smoothed by time and the gentle touch of the elements. There is a singular focus in this view, a concentration of beauty in a very small area. The floating leaf is a tiny anchor, a point of reference in the dark expanse of the water. It does not move, it simply exists, held in place by the tension of the surface and the lack of any breeze. The light dances around it, but the leaf stays true to its position, a testament to the absolute stillness of the courtyard. This level of quiet is rare and precious, a domestic treasure found in the heart of the home. The walls of the house rise up on all sides, creating a well of peace where the only thing that matters is the play of light and shadow. The textures are rich and varied: the grain of the wood, the coldness of the stone, the liquid depth of the water. It is a composition of elements that speaks to the soul of the home, a place where the senses are sharpened by the absence of distraction. The air is still, trapped within the courtyard's embrace, carrying with it the faint scent of stone and time. In the narrow corridor between the house and the boundary, the pond finds a place of quiet humility. The light is soft and diffuse today, casting no harsh shadows and revealing the true, deep colors of the garden. The brickwork of the house provides a sturdy, rhythmic backdrop to the organic shapes of the ferns that lean over the water's edge. There is a sense of hidden beauty here, a part of the garden that is not meant for display, but for quiet contemplation. The scale is exceptionally intimate. One could almost reach across the entire space. This closeness creates a feeling of being enveloped by the garden, of being part of the very fabric of the landscape. The water is a dark, steady presence, reflecting the green of the ferns and the gray of the sky in a muted palette. The stillness is heavy and comforting, like a thick blanket. There is no sound here, only the visual hum of the plants and the steady gaze of the pond. The brick foundation, worn and textured, anchors the scene in the reality of the home, reminding us that this sanctuary is built on the same ground we walk upon every day. The ferns seem to hold their breath, their delicate fronds suspended in the air as if waiting for a signal that never comes. This is the beauty of the side yard, the forgotten space made significant by the presence of water and light. It is a quiet corner of the world where time seems to fold in on itself, creating a pocket of eternity in the midst of the everyday. On the patio, where the life of the house often spills outdoors, a stone basin holds a small world of water. The late sun, low and intense, strikes the rim of the basin, turning the stone into a glowing object of art. The water inside is transformed into a sheet of liquid silver, so bright it almost hurts the eyes to look at it directly. This is a miniature landscape, a distillation of the garden's essence into a single, hand-carved vessel. The texture of the stone is rugged and ancient, a stark contrast to the perfect smoothness of the water it contains. There is a profound sense of stillness in this arrangement, a feeling that the basin has sat in this exact spot for a lifetime. The patio around it is quiet, the stones holding the heat of the day and releasing it slowly into the cooling air. The light creates a dramatic interplay of highlights and shadows, emphasizing the weight and solidity of the basin. It is an object of domestic permanence, a grounding force in the shifting light of the afternoon. To watch the sun move across the stone is to witness the slow, deliberate pace of the garden's own time. There is no need for anything more than a vessel, some water, and the sun. The simplicity of the scene is its greatest strength, offering a point of focus that clears the mind and steadies the heart. As the light begins to pull away, the silver on the water fades to a deep, contemplative blue, signaling the coming transition to evening. The garden has disappeared into a world of white and gray, a soft mist descending to blur the edges of reality. The pond is a dark shape in the center of the haze, its surface quiet and undisturbed by the damp air. The house behind it has become a ghost, a soft silhouette that suggests warmth and shelter without intruding on the solitude of the garden. This is a moment of total immersion in the atmosphere, where the air itself feels thick and heavy with moisture. The stillness is absolute. Even the usual sounds of the neighborhood are muffled and distant, as if the mist has created a barrier between this home and the rest of the world. The garden feels larger in the fog, its boundaries expanding into the unknown. The water of the pond seems to merge with the air, the transition between liquid and mist becoming almost invisible. There is a haunting beauty in this softness, a sense of peace that is both profound and fragile. The greenery is reduced to various shades of charcoal and emerald, their colors deepened by the wetness. To stand in this space is to feel the world grow quiet, to experience the garden not as a collection of plants and stones, but as a single, breathing entity. The mist clings to everything, beads of water forming on every surface, adding to the weight of the silence. It is a time for internal reflection, a time when the external world retreats and leaves us alone with the quiet presence of the water and the house. As the day surrenders to the night, the garden enters a period of deep blue transition. The pond, nestled low among the sleeping flowers, becomes a portal to the sky. The last of the light is gone from the ground, leaving only the water to catch the fading glow of the atmosphere and the first, hesitant light of the stars. The foliage around the pond has turned into dark, intricate lace, their shapes silhouetted against the deepening blue. There is a sense of mystery in this light, a feeling that the garden is changing into something different, something more primal and ancient. The house is a dark mass nearby, its windows perhaps glowing with a warm, interior light that does not reach this far into the shadows. The stillness is now accompanied by the coolness of the evening air, a refreshing change from the heat of the day. The water is perfectly flat, a dark mirror that holds the vastness of the cosmos within a few square feet of domestic space. There is a wonderful irony in this that such a small, humble pond can contain the reflection of the entire universe. The quiet is deep and resonant, the kind of silence that invites long, slow breaths. Every movement of the air is gone, leaving the garden in a state of perfect stasis. The night is a time of restoration, a time when the water and the earth seem to pull back into themselves, preparing for the return of the sun. In this blue hour, the garden is a place of profound sanctity and peace. The rain has passed, leaving the garden transformed and renewed. Everything is slick and dark, the colors of the stone and the plants intensified by the moisture. The pond in the courtyard is full to the brim, its surface a glossy black mirror that reflects the clearing sky. Small droplets of water hang precariously from the edges of the stones, each one a tiny jewel reflecting the world around it. There is a crispness in the air now, a clarity that was missing before the storm. The stillness is punctuated by the occasional, heavy drop falling from a leaf into the pond, creating a single, perfect circle that expands until it touches the stone. These ripples are the only movement in an otherwise static world, a gentle reminder of the water's fluidity. The courtyard feels like a sanctuary of clean, quiet energy. The smell of the rain on the warm stone is intoxicating, a primal scent that speaks of growth and life. The house feels close and protective, its walls having weathered the rain alongside the garden. There is a sense of relief in the air, a feeling that the earth has been washed clean. The light is beginning to break through the clouds again, casting a soft, even glow over the wet surfaces. This is a moment of pure, unadulterated beauty, a domestic scene that feels both ordinary and miraculous. The quiet is not empty. It is full of the sound of the world breathing after the rain, a soft, rhythmic presence that fills the courtyard. In the quiet hours before the world wakes, the front yard is a place of blue shadows and still water. The pond, situated near the porch, is a calm, welcoming presence, its surface undisturbed by the morning breeze. The light is cool and thin, barely touching the tops of the plants that hug the ground around the water's edge. This is the garden at its most private, a space that exists for the home and its inhabitants before the day demands their attention. The porch is a silent observer, its wooden boards still damp with the night's dew. There is a sense of expectancy in the air, a quiet waiting for the first light of the sun to crest the horizon. The scale is small and manageable, a domestic landscape that provides a moment of peace before the transition to the outer world. The stillness here is a shield, a barrier against the coming noise and activity of the day. The water reflects the pale, pre-dawn sky, its surface a window into the quietude of the morning. There is no movement in the street beyond, only the silent, steady presence of the home and its garden. The ground cover is a soft, dark carpet that leads the eye toward the water, creating a sense of flow and harmony in the small space. It is a place of simple, honest beauty, where the only thing that matters is the way the light catches the curve of a stone or the edge of a leaf. The garden is a silent partner in the life of the home, providing a space for the soul to rest before the day begins. The day concludes in a spectacular display of light and color, the sky setting the pond on fire with reflections of orange and purple. The water, once dark and quiet, is now a vibrant canvas, capturing the final energy of the sun before it disappears. The house and the garden fence are strong, dark silhouettes against this brilliant backdrop, framing the scene and grounding it in the domestic world. This is the final moment of stillness, a grand finale to a day of quiet observation. The air is warm and still, carrying the scent of sun-baked earth and fading flowers. There is a sense of completion in this light, a feeling that the garden has fulfilled its purpose for another day. The pond holds the light as long as it can, the colors deepening and shifting as the sun sinks lower. This is a time for quiet reflection, for standing by the water and feeling the day's events settle into the past. The enclosure of the garden feels more intimate than ever, a golden room with the sky as its ceiling. The stillness is no longer just an absence of movement. It is a profound presence, a weight of peace that settles over the entire home. As the colors begin to fade and the first hint of gray enters the sky, the garden prepares for the night. The pond returns to its dark, contemplative state, a quiet mirror waiting for the return of the stars. It is a moment of perfect harmony, a testament to the enduring beauty of the home and its small, secret places.